All superheroes are the same. I gotta kind of take it slow. I know Biggs is trying to like meet up here. Yo, what's up, Biggs? Yeah, I know. I found out this new cool feature with it. I'll upload a video after this showing you guys how I do that. Like I've drawn the original photos and then I just ask ChatGPT to enhance the photo. I'll upload a short after this stream and I'll show you guys what I did. But it's been doing it to like a bunch of the photos that I have. Pretty cool. I mean, it's like I feel like I can like say that I'm the original creator, you know what I mean? It's just sort of like working off my own ideas and like how does something like build and grow anyways? Eventually something is out of our own hands, even something that we create, you know? So yeah, I'll do a video. I'll show you guys how I do that. But I mean, the drawing part is just practice. Like the original drawing itself, you know? That takes practice, but... And I can basically get a pretty good idea across, you know? Just like planting a seed. It's like planting a seed in ChatGPT and like seeing how it grows inside the engine. Yeah, it's pretty smoking, right? Yeah, so it's like, it was like that one day that I was doing, I was like talking to you guys, and I was like, why did the chicken cross the road? But I like all of a sudden, for a second, I heard it differently. It was like, I pictured an old wise master. And like this old wise master was like saying like, why did the chicken cross the road? But the question itself wasn't why did the chicken cross the road? He was asking you like, what are you doing? All the old man was asking you, he was asking you, what are you doing? But what he said was, why did the chicken cross the road? It's because he's like so interpretive, like life is so interpretive, you know, it's like everything means something else. Everything becomes something else. At some point in time, I feel like we get to a certain point where we speak in metaphors, you know? And I just imagine this old wise master and nobody could understand him. And like, you came up to him and you were like doing something and he's like, why did the chicken cross the road? But what he meant to say was just, what are you doing? Like he's asking you what you're doing, you know? Like for some reason, I just had that thought. I just like imagined this guy asking that question. And it was like, it's not about a chicken crossing the road. It's about me. He's asking me. why did I cross the road or something like that? You know, why did I come here? Like, what am I doing? What am I up to? Why did the chicken cross the road? The question is open to interpretation. I just for some reason I just realized I was like, yo, what's up, bird? I'm drinking like coffee. I just came from the gym. I'm probably high. I just like went to the gym for like an hour and I just lifted. I do this every day. I go to the gym at like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, and then I go to the coffee shop. I go to the gym again at like 5, and then I go to the coffee shop. I was like trying to like train myself to like form a habit of like going to the gym, you know? And I was like, I bet if I went to and got coffee like every time after I went to the gym, like I would want to go to the gym. And like now it's like I do want to go to the gym and I come to the coffee shop every time after. And I've lost like 16 pounds. So if anyone out there is looking for like some advice on how to like keep a workout routine, like just go get a cup of coffee after your workout. You'll get like addicted to coffee, but you know you have to go work out first. Whoa, relax, bro. But yeah, Biggs, that's my interpretation of that like old saying. It's like, it's not about a chicken crossing a road, man. Like it never was, dude. It was about life, everything growing into something else. And so eventually to understand age itself, you have to understand age will always be personal. It's personal to you. Age is always personal to you. And so you understand that. Then the question is a question that is asking you, what are you doing? But there is like a higher feeling to it as well. Like you don't really know what you're up to. And so that's why you phrase it like that, you know? But that's my like philosophy on that whole like why the chicken crossed the road thing. At least that's my take on it. I have like a million takes, guys, on like all these like weird, you know, these like weird platitude sayings that people have on my channel. Like just over the 10 years I've been doing YouTube, I have like a random take on like all these sayings. And sometime, like at some point in time, like in the future, I'm gonna be like a case study for like people studying somebody or something, because I have like so many videos of me just like talking about anything and everything. I'm a firm believer that like I think in life you can do everything though. Like I think that doing everything is as easy as relaxing. I think as soon as you relax, you become like zoned into a place where you understand everything. It just is a matter of relaxing. It's like sleeping. As soon as you are able to sleep, you enter into a place where you understand the nature of things. That's what I think, at least. Yeah, you guys got any thoughts? Let me know, you know what I mean? Like, we're just hanging out, we're just chilling. If I read Shakespeare, yeah. I got cast in a Shakespearean play. It was, what was it? I got cast as this guy called Haman and Heman. And like Macbeth or something or whatever. But I did this acting class and I had to do a play in the class, but for the class we had to try out and they actually cast me in a part. And I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I'm taking too many classes, guys. But I got cast as like this super buff guy named Heman or whatever, Heman. It was like in Macbeth or like, I can't remember what the name of the play was. I'll think of it after I'm done with the stream. But yeah, I had to read Shakespeare in like junior high. In junior high is when I had to read the most Shakespeare. In like my English class or whatever, we read a bunch. Or actually, no, it was AP in my, I took like an AP literature, AP lit. And I think we had to read a bunch of Shakespeare and like analyze it or whatever. But I've read a bunch of Shakespeare before. It's been a day though, you guys. It's almost the weekend again. We've gone another cycle through this. Gone through a whole other week, guys. We've done it. Crazy, right? We've been able to keep up on this schedule. It's just, I actually think I know what I'm gonna get for my next game, and I played that game that Alien came in. I figured it out. I think hell is real, and will some people experience it? You know, I think hell is a place that you like can go during life. I think life can be hell, if that makes sense. Like hell can be real, but it's just a matter of like, listen, life can be a pretty bad experience for some people. Just like life is hell, kind of. As they say, war is hell is a common saying, but you know, which is probably the most true out of like what hell can be. But I think you can certainly put yourself in a bad place if you, you know what I mean? Like, listen to what they say about like in church. It's just like guidelines to like keep you out of trouble, basically. It's like, yeah, like if you don't do these things, you're more likely to like not get in trouble in your life. It makes sense. So it's like you can like end up in a hell kind of if you like, you know, don't pay attention to your surroundings or like what your habits are, like what you believe in and stuff like that. Like I think you can end up in a hell. It's like pretty understandable to like say that, you know, doing certain things are going to keep you more out of like the path of trouble than other things, kind of. Statistically, it probably holds true. But that's how I look at a lot of things. It's just like, yeah, well, if you like are a goody good your whole life, you're probably going to stay out of trouble more often. And it's going to like statistically lead to you having like a more like simple life, kind of. You're not gonna experience so many extremes, so many highs, so many lows, or whatever else, addictions, like getting into trouble with, you know, society and whatever else. So yeah, I think you can end up in a hell pretty easy if you know what I mean, don't listen to the right things or whatever. I think it's pretty understandable. That guy, Bird. Whoa, relax, bro. Are you microdosing? This is just who I am, dude. I like to leave the afterlife as an unknown. I like to say, you know what, nobody really knows beyond that point. I like to leave it open. To me, it's like part of the experience of life. It's like the idea that the unknown is the unknown is like, do heroin addicts? Yeah. Trust me, they take a chance every day. It's like every day it's like just another day where it's like you can't get through the day without like your substance or whatever. And it's like not, it's like, it's not going to forward you towards anything. You might be experiencing like bliss for like an hour or something like that, but that's about it. Like I said, I've had friends like die and stuff from ODs and whatever else, you know what I mean? Like ODing or whatever. Or like drinking too much or bunch of stuff, dude. But yeah, they take a chance every time. They take a chance with their life for sure. Take a chance with their life, dude. But it's like the feeling of the drug is just like so much. It's just like such a trip that you overcome your sense of fear with like your desire for the drug. That's like the basics of addiction right there. You like overcome like all your natural instincts that you have, and then you like you still use or whatever, and you don't listen to your natural instincts anymore. But I think I tried to describe what drugs were like one time. I was like, you know what it's like is like, it's like you're more aware of time, but the more aware of time you are, the more the time is getting away. The more focused you become, the more important everything becomes. You realize how important life is. Like all of a sudden you're like a child, because I think that in some ways you have a lot more of those experiences as you're growing up to remember things. So all of a sudden you're experiencing things on a scale that's so specific that you all of a sudden realize time is getting away from you. And too much of that experience where you recognize time, but you're also hyper focused on it, it creates this delay where you're trying to catch up, but your body can't act. Basically, you can't act on it because you're in such a daze of like observing time. But the more it gets away from you, the more that it causes fear. Too much of that experience where time is getting away from you, it'll lead to a bad trip. That's the basics of drugs, basically. At least that's what I think. That's my way of describing it. But see, doing that allows you to like see things that other people don't see, because basically you're looking at things from a different perspective, a different angle. You're taking more time on certain mundane things. So you're able to see things from a different, like I said, everybody gets, this rhythm in life where it's just like they get stuck in a routine. Basically, that's normalcy. You know what I mean? And it's like the fact that things can become so normal and so bland and we can just live and die is scary too. You know what I mean? Just as much so as that you can experience a high or a low. So I just say be safe, whatever you're doing. Just be safe. And just make sure that you know everybody. But I mean, there are certain studies and things like that. Like I said, it makes you look at things differently. And like I said, too much of that, you're going to look at things so differently that you can't communicate with people about what's going on. You'll be at a loss for being able to describe what you're experiencing. Don't ever lose that. That's too much as well. That's like an overdose. An overdose is going to a place where you lose your ability to communicate. Maybe so much so that you lose your life. But that's what it does, and that's why it changes people's perspectives, because like I said, you recognize time and it allows you to like observe things at a moment where you wouldn't necessarily observe if you just had like your basic instincts that were motivating you through your day-to-day life. You look at different designs, you try to make different connections with things. You know what I mean? You look at different patterns for longer or something like that, like a child, basically. Like a child. But yeah, you're taking a chance. It's like rolling the dice. You can win big or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people die. A lot of people like to gamble though, you know what I mean? Like, gambling can be an addiction, and it's certainly a form of gambling, I think. It's a form of chance and chaos. You're introducing a little bit of chaos into your life for the chance that somehow you can leap ahead or something like that. You can get something before anyone else or whatever. It's gambling. But it allows you to come to perspectives where you're open to a lot more like personal beliefs, I could say, you know what I mean? Like the idea that you can play with denial. Like the idea of life, ultimately the truth is choice. And so the closer you get to the truth, the more that it's just about perspective. And perspective can always change, which means that everything is true from a certain perspective. It's just a matter of how much you want to play with that idea. I'm just gambling though. Good questions, Biggs. And I think there are a lot of things that happen in life which sort of symbolically represent a lot of those things anyways, that sort of naturally happen, anyways. And who's to say that, you know what I mean, everything we experience in life isn't natural from the beginning? It's hard to say that, you know, we have control beyond that. Do I remember in Resident Evil a long time ago how the herbs make you vomit? It can make you vomit. Too much, probably. I've never experienced that, but I've read for some people. It's like hypersensitivity. It's like too much of one thing just becomes like bad in the whatever direction. You know what I mean? Like creates like hypersensitivity kind of thing. But you know, everybody's on, like, in this day and age, most everybody's on something. Like if they're not naturally users of some kind of drug, they're using synthetic drugs. Have I ever had bronchitis? No. Like an infection in my lungs? No. But yeah, like most people are on either like antipsychotics or like antidepressants, mood stabilizers, like, you know what I mean? Anti-anxiety medications, like a lot, like whatever. It's like a normal thing now after you pass a certain age. And then there's a lot of people that like medicate themselves, you know, with things. Just make sure that you are living a sustainable life. Sustainable living. Sustainable living should be the goal from whatever perspective you're approaching this upon. Sustainable living. How close were I? One of my friends I grew up like, I wrestled. He was on my wrestling team. His name was Thomas. I was pretty close to him. One of my other friends died of alcohol. He was an alcoholic too. I mean, I'm only 33, but I've already had 2 friends die of alcoholism. Like one of them was like, they were like right after each other too. It was like one of my friends died. My friend named Thomas. He was on the same wrestling team as me for like 3 years, and he went to school with me for like all my life, basically. And I mean, I went to his funeral. It was kind of hard because it was during COVID, so like everybody was dressed up and like in their weird COVID stuff or whatever, you know, but it made everybody look like the Grim Reaper. But yeah, I mean, he died of just drinking a bottle, like all alone in the city, just like down an alley, man. He just had like a bottle and just drank himself to death. I went and spoke at like his memorial service or whatever. I spoke to everybody, kind of thing. I just got up there and just spoke, dude. I just was like, I'm gonna say something, so I got up there and said something. Even though I looked like a goof and all the COVID stuff, but whatever. And then right after that, one of the my other friends died of alcohol too. His name was Brock. And like he like showed up at someone's house and they're like, dude, you're like looking yellow. You like look yellow. Like you need to go to the doctor. And he went to the doctor and then he died. You know, I don't cry, man. I'm not a crier. The only time I ever cry is like at night when I'm just like in my bed alone or something like that. But it's not really crying. It's just like I wake up and my eyes just feel like that I have black eyes, basically. It's like, it feels like crying, but it's not. But dude, I don't know why, but I can count how many times I've like cried on my hand. I cried when my dog died. Like when I was a little kid, I had this dog named Toby, and he was like He was like a mutt dog, you know. He was like a mix with a bunch of things. He was like black and brown, little kind of short hound kind of looking dog. Anyways, he got hit by a car and died. And I went by myself and I was like crying in this like back room. And I told myself, I was like, I'm never gonna cry again. And so I just didn't. I never cried again after that. I don't know. I just hated it. I hated the feeling. I hated the feeling of losing something or like death or whatever it was that I was dealing with. And I've never really cried again after that. I remember that pretty vividly. I was so tiny. I was so young, dude. But I just went into this back room and I was bawling my eyes out. And like around nobody, you know? And I just told myself like, I'm never gonna cry again. And I just never did. I don't know. Yeah, it's like you have no control, you know what I mean? Or like, it's like I hated it. I completely hated it, so I was just like, yeah, like I'm never doing this again. So I don't know, I've never been a crier. I go to church and people cry all the time. People are like, why are you crying? Blah. I'm just like, I'm not a crier, guys. I'm sorry. I just told myself that day, I was like, I'm never crying again. Just something as I was a little kid. You know what I mean? Yeah, Toby, yeah. But got hit by a car. Died. Yeah, like I've been like disconnected from emotions like a lot ever since then. I've like never really like felt emotionally connected. And I know like women, a lot of people always say like they're more emotional. I'm like, maybe that's why I've been like so distanced from women my whole life, is just like, I don't like the feeling of emotion that much. I'd rather just, you know what I mean? Like not have highs, not have lows, just be somebody who just like cruises through the world. Just like get me through it fast. You know what I mean? I want to be like speed. I just want to be speed and just be able to go fast. Like that's something else too. Do some people eat moose? Yeah, a lot of people do. Moose is like one of the most hunted animals. Moose and elk, people hunt those all the time. But yeah, like ever since then, I was just like, I just want to be fast and just like, I don't want anything creative get in my way. Like, I just want to be fast and like stay agile, and like that's me. I just want to be able to be fast and like not have anything hold me down, you know? I've been like that my whole life. But yeah, people eat moose. Some people. But I'm gonna go, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Those 30 minutes went by fast, didn't they? I got a lot of stories. It's just like, it's about digging them up, you know what I mean? Someone asking the questions or whatever. Have I ever eaten moose? Probably. If I do, I don't really remember, but I probably have. I've eaten like bear. I probably have. If I had to like bet on it, I would say like, yeah, I probably have. Because I've eaten a lot of animals. I grew up with like scout people and stuff like that, like outdoors people. And this one guy in my scout group or whatever always had like wild animal stuff. I've eaten a lot of elk. Like elk, the big, huge animal with like antlers that comes out in all directions. It's not a moose, but it's still a pretty big animal. And it has like spikes, spears that come out of its head. Basically, kind of a crazy animal, right? I've eaten a ton of elk. Like in college, I basically survived off of elk. Yeah, I've eaten bear. Bear meat, bear jerky, bear, deer, elk. Not a lot of moose, if I ever have. Bison, goat, pig, chicken, beef, duck. I've eaten a lot of things, actually. I just grew up around people that were like into the outdoors and stuff like that, so they had bear. and we like ate it. Have I ever seen an ox? I don't know, probably. Somewhere, probably. Like some weird zoo or something, maybe. I'm gonna go though, Biggs. I'll see you if you want to join me back at my place, you know what I mean? I'll probably be playing some Rivals or whatever, so. I'll see you there, okay? Yeah, I've ridden a horse. I've ridden a horse before. My aunt has horses. She still has horses. She's had horses my whole life. Whenever I'd go and visit one of my aunts, we would ride horses. She would go and saddle them up. I like riding horses. I've been hunting on horses before. I've actually been elk hunting on horseback. Up into the mountains, clear up into the mountains, away from everybody. Basically, you're living off of everything you have. That's it. Hunting elk. Miles up in the mountains. My aunt must have a lot of land. She has, I don't know, it's not, she doesn't have a ton of land. She just likes horses, so she's always had them. I'm gonna go though, Biggs, okay? I'm gonna go, man. I'll see you at my house if you want to get on with when I'm playing Rivals, okay? Bye.